Hey y'all, welcome to Misinformation, the show that nobody asked for.
Misinformation.
As opposed to diving hardcore into a single topic today, we're going to try something new, just to see how it goes.
What that mean?
Well, that means that instead of a single topic, this Misinformation episode is going to lightly cover 3 bits of information that you might have missed. Now that most of us are trapped inside and more of us are becoming unemployed. All aboard! Next stop is a never-ending loop of sitting on your bed and opening the fridge. It only makes sense that we're going to find ourselves in the need of some new activities to pass the time. But what are you going to do? I mean, sure, there's television, but there's only so much of that you can watch before you want to gouge your eyes out. So then what? Hobbies are nice, but what about building a skill that could be useful in dire circumstances? We're living through some dire circumstances right now, but because of the nature of the pandemic and social distancing, you actually have the time to learn some skills that would be useful in other catastrophic circumstances that might very well come in the future. The reason I think using all this time for skill building might be useful is because the next time we're in a dire situation globally may require some survival skills. The pandemic may leave you a lot of time to be bored now, but future catastrophes may not afford that opportunity. Earthquakes, floods, and hurricanes are not exactly going to give you a lot of extra time at home. In fact, they may completely destroy your home. So for this video, I'm going to cover the basics of 2 good-to-know life skills that you can easily learn at home. And then I'm going to throw out 1 entertaining suggestion to pass the time when you're not doomsday prepping. Number 1 is pickling, and I'm smiling because I just learned how to pickle, and I'm pretty proud of myself, I'm not going to lie. Or if pickles aren't your thing, maybe it's time to learn how to make some jams. Like I said, I just learned how to make pickles, and, I just finished a batch the other day. I know it's not polite to say this when you made the thing, but they are really good. Pickling is actually really easy to do, and if you do it the simplest way like I did, your pickled vegetables will still last much longer than a raw veggie would. Our current disaster is very specific, but a future national catastrophe could lead to a loss of power, who knows? And then you would need to find other ways to preserve your food outside of using the refrigerator. For this reason, canning and pickling are great skills to have. And now with the pandemic, you have all the time you need to learn. To pickle something the modern way, you just need to make a brine for soaking the veggies, and then you refrigerate it for 1 to 2 days. To make a brine, you just need 4 basic ingredients: salt, water, sugar, and white vinegar. Most people will put on the spices they love after that. Some people don't want to put anything on after that. That's up to you. If this is a skill you want to learn, I have a pickling guide in the description below. The second pastime or skill that I'm going to go over might come in handy if you ever have to flee your home, but it also might save your life while you're in lockdown. This pastime is more of a study up thing than it is a something you can do to pass the time thing, but it is good to know, and that is how to take care of a wound in the wild. I know it's scary to think about, but if hospitals are totally booked due to some sort of, poorly handled pandemic, then dressing a wound might be a skill you need to know within your own home. So whether it's a city apartment or the wilderness, here's what you need to know about taking care of a serious cut or gash without a doctor. I am getting all this info from backpacker.com, and I'm linking to it in the description below. And to be super clear, I am not offering medical advice. Please consult with a medical professional if you have any questions about a serious injury.
Hi.
Okay, so here's how to treat a serious cut or gash if you cannot access a doctor. First things first, you gotta stop the bleeding. This means putting pressure on the cut or gash, and that means you're going to need a clean surface. If you have gauze, then great, use gauze. If you don't have gauze, use the cleanest piece of fabric you can find. You can use a tourniquet if it's the only option or the wound is super serious, but in general, it is not recommended because tourniquets often lead to amputations. 2 is clean the wound. Once the bleeding has slowed or stopped, you need to make sure that wound is not gonna get infected, which means you need clean water or you need rubbing alcohol or something.
What the hell is this?
Oh shit, I think it's hand sanitizer.
Frank?
Why is there hand sanitizer all over the floor? What's in here? Oh!
Frank?
Oh my god.
What the hell did you do to yourself?
I just wanna be pure.
3 is assess the ripped skin. See what's up, make sure everything's not too bad. How big is the wound? Can you duct tape it closed? If it's a small 1/4 inch sort of wound, maybe, but if it's a bigger wound, that is not the method you want to take. If you're not sure, don't try to fix it, just gauze it and wrap it up as best you can. And the last resort here is actually superglue. Superglue is actually FDA approved for your skin, and it can be used to help seal a wound. But don't do it unless it's a small, clean cut.
I just wanna be pure.
Then the last thing is to make sure you dress the wound. You're gonna need to irrigate it. If you have antibiotic ointment, now is definitely the time to use it. And then if you are dressing a wound and gauzing it up, you gotta make sure that you change that dressing every 12 hours.
I don't know. I broke my thumb on the way over here. Just fix me.
Now that was just the cliff notes of how to deal with a wound. If you are really serious about learning this skill, go to the link I left in the description. They have diagrams, they have other links you can go to, far more useful than I will be on this subject. Okay, that was pretty heavy, but it's good information to know. For our last pastime for the end times, I'm going to talk about something a little lighter. Like I said at the start of the video, TV can get pretty old. So can books. This is because while they are classic forms of entertainment, they are also passive forms of entertainment. But lucky for us, we live in an age with fully interactive entertainment options. And of course, I am speaking of video games. If you're not a big gamer, but you want to try something new, or if you've never tried a video game before, now is definitely the time to test out those gaming waters. Just make a Steam account and check it out. When your eyes have watched more TV than they can bear, what else is there? And now really is the time to get into it money-wise as well. With so many people home, game makers are putting on some crazy sales to compete. I myself just purchased a game on Steam called Faria, and I love it! I already play some games from time to time. Badly, but this is a new type of game for me, and getting into something new has been really nice. The worst result is that you spend some time, which is actually good, and then you don't play games anymore. And the best result is that you found a new hobby, a new way to spend time, a new way to distract yourself and miss some information mayhaps. And if that happens, you know just where to go to catch up, so